Hello friends, today I am going to discuss about the new topic, that is the digital electronics. So introduction to digital electronics, so today I will tell. Followed by different digital electronics topics are there. Next, uh, so the topic is introduction to digital electronics, right? So what is the digital electronic circuit or electronic circuit? So first, if you understand about the electronic circuit, right? So this electronic circuit, these are associated, any kind of the electronic circuit is associated with the any electronic component, right? Resistance, capacitance, diode, these things are there. So uh, for that, why the circuit is required? So mainly if one to circuit, it is one kind of the system or electronic system. In any kind of the electronic system, that consists of so many circuits, electronic circuits, right? So in a system means, so if we send any kind of the information, the system will manipulate the information and it will give some output, right? That is the system. And in electronic system, that consists of electronic circuits, right? Any kind of the system. So this is the electronic circuit, right? So here if we send any information, it will give some output, right? And if we send any information, it will give some output, and the output, that will be the manipulation of the manipulated version of the input. That is the electronic circuit, right? So if you want to do amplification, manipulation, anything you can do by using the electronic circuit. But earlier, so in our daily life, there are lots of applications which are associated with the electronic circuit. Loudspeaker, MP3 player, any kind of, so many systems are there. Any fan, light, these are the circuits, right? Any kind of the mobile, any kind of the integrated components, microcontrol, microwave, freeze, in all the instruments are associated with the electronic circuit. Earlier, normally analog electronics are were most important applications, right? But nowadays, digital electronics, right? Instead of analog, digital electronics, digital electronics. That means, what is the digital electronic circuit? Okay, the circuit or system. Okay, that is dealing with the digital information. Okay, that is dealing with the digital information. Okay, so in the any kind of the circuit or system which has input signal and one output signal. But in case of the digital signal, the whatever signal or information you are giving to the system, this signal are in the form of the digital. If we get any output, that output is also in the form of the digital signal. Okay, so signal means the information. What is the signal? Signal means one kind of the information which we are sending in from one point to another point. If we send any information from one point to another form, that we can send in the form of the signal. But the digital signal means the signal that is associated with the digital only. Digital, that means digit. Okay, that is only associated with the 1 and 0 digit. The digital signal that is associated with the 1 and 0. Okay, 1 and 0. This kind of the information, if we send in a system or circuit, the circuit the circuit is called as a digital circuit. Okay, if you send any information like 1 and 0 into the system, this or system or circuit is called as a digital system or digital electronic circuit. Okay, so in the inside the electronic circuit, resistance, capacitance, diode, these things are there to do any manipulation, any modification, any rectification, right? So if you send any information inside the device, that information should be in the form of the digital in case of the digital electronic circuit. Okay, so What is the origin of the digital signal? What is the difference between digital signal and the other signal? The other signal means analog signal. Okay, so where you can use the digital signal? This I will tell now. Okay, but in a physical world there is no concept of the digital signal. So if you want to do anything with the machine, that time we can consider the digital signal. Okay, so in our real life, suppose in our real life our voice signal, okay, any voice signal, any kind of the sound wave, okay, sound signal, any kind of the information in our real world, these are associated with the physical signal or analog signal. Okay, physical signal or analog signal. Analog signal. That means we are getting information at each and every point of time. Okay, this is the analog signal. So if we plot any information, okay, in the time scale, okay, so in this way we will get the analog signal. Okay, and if we represent the digital signal, that will be like this way. Okay, or like this way. In this way you will get the digital signal 1 0 1 0 in this from 1 0.5 1.5. In this way you will get the digital. So here in this case you are not getting, you are getting values, okay, at each and every point of time. In this case you are not getting, suppose at this instant you are getting some output, in this instant you are not getting any output. Okay, so this is the digital signal, this is the analog signal. Again I'm giving one kind of the practical example of the analog and digital signal, or analog system and the digital system, right? So here you can see one kind of the, suppose one, if we see analog clock, okay, analog clock and digital. We draw the analog or any kind of the, in our home you can see analog clock, minute watch. There are the three scale. One is the minute scale, hour scale, and the second scale, right? So if you want to observe any time at a particular instant, you can see now, suppose 9:15:01 second. Okay, so after 9:15:01 second, you can also answer 9:15:02 second, right? In case of the digital clock, in any platform, any airport, you can see the digital clock. Okay, in case of the digital clock, after 9:15, you can directly see the 9:16. In between 15 and 16, there are the 60 numbers, right? In between 15 and 16, you are not observing these 60 numbers. Okay, after 15, you are directly getting the 16. Okay, in between 15 and 16, there are lots of numbers. You are not calculating or not taking these numbers. Okay, so that is the digital form. This is the digital form, and this is the analog form. So after 01, 02, 03, and after 15 and second, then you will get the 9:16. Okay, so you are getting the all the information between 15 and 16. This is the analog clock and this is the digital clock. Okay, so earlier the analog clock was mainly used. Nowadays digital clock is used in various places, and you can also see the digital thermometer. So from one number, in between two numbers, there are multiple numbers. You are not observing and taking those numbers. You are just taking some samples from the different numbers. Okay. So in this way, you can get digital signal. Okay, you can get digital signal. Suppose your temperature, continuously temperature you are observing. This is the temperature data. Okay, this is the temperature data. So suppose temperature data 90 degree, 91 degree, 92, 93, 94, 95 up to this 100. Okay, so this the continuous data analog. Okay, analog is also called as a continuous data, right? From this continuous data, you are just taking 90, 92, 94, 96, 98 and 100. Okay, so from this continuous data you are taking some samples. Okay, this is called the discrete. discrete data. From the analog data, you are taking some samples from the analog data. This is called discrete. So, in temperature, suppose temperature sensor continuously taking the values at each and every point. Okay, so this the analog value we are taking. But when we send this information to the digital system, okay, so from this analog information, we will just sample some information from this analog information. So in this way, so if it is a analog signal, from this analog signal you can get the digital signal. Okay, from suppose this analog signal you can get digital signal. Okay, so you are just taking this value at this instant. After that you are taking this value at this system instant, at this value at this instant. Okay, now if you plot this graph, okay, you will get a such kind of the behavior. Okay, that is discrete. In this case, this is the continuous amplitude. Okay, this is called as amplitude and this is called as a temperature or time scale. Okay, so this is the time scale and this is the amplitude. So you are discretizing the amplitude value. Okay, you are discretizing the amplitude value. You are also discretizing the time scale. Okay, discrete in time, discrete in amplitude in case of the digital signal. Okay, in analog signal, continuous time and continuous amplitude. Okay, this is analog, this is digital. But in case of the normal digital value, so in case of digital value, normal pure digital signal, there are only two values, only 1 and 0. Each and every information, these are only associated with the 1 0. If you want to send, suppose on digital information, this digital information consists of 1 0 0 1 1 0. In this way, digital informations are there. Okay, this is the analog and digital information. Right now, so how it is now? If we give the one of some practical examples of why the digital signal is required. Okay, so normally all the systems, whatever systems are there in daily life, all the systems are associated with the digital system. Okay, we are not considering the analog system now because lots of disadvantages are there in case of the analog system. So how the digital system will perform? Okay, so suppose one example I am giving. Suppose first one person that is speaking on the loudspeaker. Okay, so the microphone. Okay, the microphone, the signal information that will pass into the microphone, and after that this microphone we can get the amplification of the voice signal. Okay, how we will get? So here is the microphone. Okay, so here the analog signal, the voice signal. Okay, voice signal or analog signal. Voice signal, this is entering into the microphone. Okay, microphone. So after microphone, here also you will get the analog. But so inside the system there will be a, so for getting the amplification you need to manipulate the signal. Okay, for getting the amplification of the sound wave or voice signal you need to modify the signal. Okay, this analog signal that will be converted into the digital signal, analog to digital converter. One converter is there, analog to digital converter, that will be converted into the digital signal. Okay, then it will enter into the system where amplification is performed. Okay, so here you will get the amplified, modified digital signal. Okay, after that again this digital signal that will again converted into analog signal, digital to analog converter. Okay, here you will get the analog information and that will transfer into the loudspeaker. Okay, amplified analog signal. Okay, so if you want to send the, if you want to do anything with the digital information, So if you want to do anything with the analog information, which is related with the digital thing system, so first analog information that will be converted into the digital information by using the DC. Okay, then this digital information that will be sent into the system. What kind of, it depends on the application, if the system will be designed. So in this system the amplification will be done. Now after amplification, again if you want to interact, so that means if you want to interact any information with the digital world, analog information is required. If you want to interact any information with the system, that time digital information is digital signal is required. So analog means interaction between system and the human. That information is the analog. Okay. So again it will be come into the real world. Then again the digital signal will be converted into the analog signal. Okay. Here then it will be passed through the speaker. Okay, and another thing, another example, that is the MP3 player, CD player. Okay, so if we want to play the CD where so many musics are there, so in this CD all the informations, all the musics, all the songs, all the informations are stored in the form of the binary bit 1010. Okay, so loudspeaker, if you want to listen the music from the CD, so for that the amplification is required. Though the binary bit that will be converted into the that will be first converted into the analog information, and by using any kind of amplifier you can amplify the analog information, and then it will be passed into the speaker. Okay, so any kind of whatever information are stored inside the system, these are the digital information. If we to deal with those information, then we need the analog form. Okay, so analog information, there is interaction between digital information means there is interaction between real world and the system. Okay, again analog information, if you want to get those information in the which should be interact with the human, then analog information is required. Okay, so why we will use the, because for two converters are required for case of the digital system. If you want to deal with the only directly analog information or analog system, these two converters are not required. DC and DAC converters are not required. So why this thing is required? Okay, main is the noise can be reduced, right? So this I will discuss on the next class. Application of the analog digital system, and the advantage of the digital system, and disadvantage of the digital signal. This I will discuss on the next class, and followed by different kind of the number system. Thank you.